Day 11, and I'm ready in record time this morning. 8:50. Gonna have a quick splash of coffee and hit the road again. Absolutely stupendous climb. That's my camp spot down there by the Tourmalet chairlift. It's really warm this morning, surprisingly warm. I think the cloud cover probably gave me another 10 degrees last night, which is perhaps fortunate given that I sent the winter gear on. Ah! Magnificent! Well, I've just come over the col to Tourmalet, and that's about a quarter of today's 2,000 metres of ascent, 500 metres of the col, and this is looking down the valley towards Mongy. Big descent coming up very soon. Well, I've just descended about 17 kilometres down to Saint-Marie-de-Campan. That's about, what's that, 1,200 metres or so. Rolling out of town and heading up col 2 of 3 today, col d'Aspin, and there's still about 1,800 metres of climbing left today over 2 big cols. I ran the food bag down pretty low over the Tourmalet on the assumption that I'd be able to get some more supplies in the village I've just had a cafe au lait in, which was a good assumption. So a baguette and a couple of tomatoes later, and I'm on my way. So the Aspin, a mere 1,500 metres, at about 900 metres now, so 600 of the col, halfway up the col d'Aspin. And I'm sat here just waving at everybody that drives past. Absolutely sensational climb up through the trees. Nothing on the road. Dreamy. Col. Popping out. Not my first col of the day, and won't be my last. So looking back the way, the big mast on the hill in the distance was the one visible from last night's campsite, and the obvious col to the left is the Tourmalet, first col of the day. And looking on down the descent to Arrow in the valley, the start of the next big col. Can't get enough of them. Rolling out of Arrow after the descent from col d'Aspin, and I'm not sure there's a finer 13 kilometres of tarmac in the country. Absolutely superb. A little bit less steep than the Tourmalet, so not quite as hard on the brakes. Twisty turny through the trees, a lot of good fun. Just stopped for a chocolat show in the little town square there, which is very nice. And the last col lies ahead of me, 1,000 metres of climbing, and then down to Bagnères for the big feed. I must admit, when I got down to the bottom of the Aspin, immediately got the map out trying to find another col. But now I'm halfway up the Peyresourde, I think that'll be enough for me for a while. Just stopped halfway up for a quick Café Sans Lait with the better brew here, and thought I should admit I've been carrying not one gas canister, not 2, but 3 in total over all these passes. Probably an additional kilo of weight that I didn't need. Ridiculous. Don't know if you can see behind me, but I'm a hunted man. Keeping my pursuer at bay for the moment. Approaching the col. The final col of the day. Rolling in. Not going to break any records on Strava, even if I had Strava. And an easy 18k roll down to Bagnères. Last big descent of the Pyrenees. Don't want to go down really. Bring on the Alps. Bagnères, another massive descent. Rolling in 5 PM. Gonna try and find some accommodation. Well, I've decided to blow the budget tonight. This is what €55 gets you in Bagnères du Luchon. Just the single spotlight required here. I've had one tiny towel for 11 days, and now I have 5 for one night. So it's day 12 today, and I thought I'd start with a little recap of the trip so far. So I started in northern Spain, Santander, got the ferry over here, and followed this black line that I've marked on the map here. Pamplona, stayed there for a night, and then across the Pyrenees, this is the last 3 days or so, over lots of gulls, and into Baggères, which is where I am now. So these are the Pyrenees here, and I'm heading eventually over to the Alps and Austria over this way, so I'm going to take a fairly direct line, something like this, I think. I think from here it's pretty much completely downhill. You hit the river here and follow it all the way in Toulouse. I'm not going to go quite that far, but heading for Castres and then into another national park somewhere over here, I think. So rolling out of Baggères. Had a really nice stay in a hotel last night, went out for a 3-course meal, very fancy indeed, and thought it was important to mark the end of the first phase of the expedition really over the Pyrenees, and now starting out into sort of south of France really. Absolutely loved the last 3 days, over the cols and into the high mountains. And just reminded me how much I love the mountains and cannot wait to get back next summer for some running and biking and other things like that. I think today is going to be comparatively uninteresting compared to the last few days. Heading north, just down the valley really, hit the river to Toulouse. There's about less than a tenth of what I did yesterday in terms of ascent, but the legs will thank me for it. Feeling pretty fatigued today, so looking forward to an easy day. Pretty flat now, pretty hot, pretty busy in comparison, but ticking along, expending minimal wattage. Well, I'm absolutely toiling today, so found this Netto, which is a supermarket, and procured some supplies, and the strawberry milkshake, hopefully going to pull me through. Got about 20k to the next town where I'm hoping to have a swift beer, and then somewhere after that find a camp for the night. It's been a very uneventful day really. Well, rolling out of Calais nearly as quickly as I rolled into it. Got some water. Didn't like the vibe. Bloody tired. Need to get the tent up and get my head down. It's the sort of time of day with the sun setting that you start to think, okay, somewhere around now would be good. Got myself a little spot tucked in here behind the cycle path. Pretty ideal. Really muggy. Gonna look a mess. I'm tired. It's warm tonight. Hope to get a good night's sleep. Didn't sleep very well last night, so bit of pasta, head down. Day 13, climbing again. Just left the main river valley that runs down to Toulouse. Had a very damp camp last night. It got quite cold after being hot and humid, so the tent got pretty well soaked, but away pretty efficiently. Well, you can probably see which way the wind's blowing. Into me face. Just rolled into Saint-Sulpice-sur-Lève, and it's actually a lovely little spot. The wind is 20 gusting 30, pretty much in my face all day today, so eating and drinking more important than ever. It's going to be a good test of the patience. Not fun! Hope you can hear me okay. I've just rolled out of Haute-Rive, where I stopped for a Tourmalet cafe con leche, much required and very enjoyable stop. Being the diligent administrator that I am, I've been assigning a rating out of 10 for each day as to how good I was feeling. And yesterday scored a lowly 5, and I was reflecting on why that might have been. Partly fatigue from the cold and a bit of a slump after the high of the Pyrenees, but hadn't stopped in the cap, and it got me thinking that actually one of the main reasons that I like cycling is for the calf stops alone. Very, very important. I'd set my sights on a town called Castres today. Still about 70 odd k from here, but probably not going to happen given the wind. Out of the wind in the trees, lovely, but out on the open plains and fields it's an absolute battle. Heady. Lovely little towpath, still getting battered by the wind, but not all bad. Absolutely brutal out there. I turned just to come across it, but it's trying to blow me off now. So I've just found this little sort of bus shelter type thing out of the wind. Mercifully, so you have something to eat. Starting to get a little bit frustrated, which is a sure sign that it's time to stop. So about 3k from Lake Cass, and completely lost my patience with it, to be quite frank. Crawling along at, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 miles an hour, full watts, not going anywhere. Why bother? Well, I was sat in the town square in Lake Cass, feeling a little bit dejected and needing some water, and the place was deserted apart from 4 older people that walked past, and I asked him my finest French about water. The chap showed me the tap and we got talking in some broken French, and eventually culminated in me occupying his little bungalow here, just next to his house, which is really quite nice and means I can get all my gear dry and be organised for a quick getaway in the morning. I'm reading this book at the moment. It's bloody good. Most of the way through it, probably finish it tonight. Weighty, mind. Thanks, Mum, for the recommendation. And the good man has just contributed a banana and some sort of pastry item here for the dinner.